Can anybody tell me why this Sasha Riley has not been sued for defamation by Andy Biggs, Jim Jordan, and Trump, who he claims assaulted him numerous amount of times?
Child at this point, about around, we would say, 12 years old. So he is a much larger person than I am, and of course 40 years ago he wasn't feeble. So I was looking for that vulnerable point where I could try to kill him.
Great fight. Thank you very much. Yes. Put me to more than you win this fight. I'll give you a honor. You look so good. You're too good looking to be a fighter. You are some fighter. Thank you, man. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
A party. This was at a farm. There were, 25 to 50 people there. I mean, it was a good amount of people, but not a massive crowd by any stretch. The experience that my dad sold to those people was, if you could pin me, then you could do whatever you wanted. So it was kind of a game for them, because I was just a child, so you would think that you could just, do whatever you wanted. But if they got anywhere near me, I would hit them. And by the time that Jim Jordan assaulted me, I was old enough that those adults, most of them not being athletic in any way, these are people that, they're not fighters by any stretch. They couldn't get anywhere near me. And Jim Jordan just sort of rushed me and tackled me. And I might have known how to fight, but I didn't know how to wrestle. So he assaulted me in front of a crowd, and I think that it was filmed, but I can't swear that it was filmed, but it was in front of those 25 or 50 people.
And how old were you?
That's why I remembered. I was around 12.
12.
When that happened.
The reason that I remember Jim Jordan is, first, he stood out because he wasn't that much. He's only like 7 or 8 years older than me. So at the time frame that I'm at 12, he is right around just graduating high school, maybe first year or two of college, right? So him being so much younger stood out. And then I remembered his jawline. He has a very, very pronounced jawline. I remembered his voice. So that's him, I just remembered him. So
yeah,
I know that's not a lot, but you give me a polygraph, I'm going to take it, because I'm 100% sure that it was him.
Uh-huh.
And Andy Biggs, I remember, because on the way to, they took me to a house. This wasn't at a party. This was later, after I had assaulted Trump, and it was kind of a punishment type of thing, where he was going to get to assault me, and I guess not pay my parents, and he got to do whatever he wanted. And I can remember telling me I wasn't allowed to fight back or they'd kill me, and all of this. But they must have said his name 50 times in the car. So Biggs I kept hearing Biggs, Andy Biggs, and I thought, I'm going to remember this name. And after he assaulted me, I don't even remember the assault necessarily, but I remember being in the car afterwards and being like really nauseous, sick to my stomach. I was seeing spots, and I mean, the guy beat me until I had broken ribs and was convulsing, turning blue and stuff like that. And the only part of that assault that I can remember is laying on the floor of the room trying to breathe, and I could hear Andy and my dad screaming back and forth at each other. And I can remember Andy Biggs saying, "You said I could do whatever I wanted," and my dad saying, "I didn't say you could fucking kill him." And I think they may have actually thrown blows over it, but there was a heated argument and everything going on for an extended period of time. And then I can remember being in the car, leaving, and just having my eyes closed because my head was spinning and everything, and I was just trying to breathe, just in and out, So that's why I remember him so clearly. I have had more than one encounter with Trump, and that's why I tried to kill that son of a bitch, because he is a fucking monster. It's why I have not shut up about just how absolutely abhorrent he is rights as a human being, and that's why I tried to kill him.
Yeah.
Because I had decided, I had already seen enough other people die that in my mind I thought, well, they're just going to kill me too at some point, right? I'm not going to survive to be an adult from this. So in my mind, he was the biggest pile of shit that I had ever had to have any contact with. So I was going to take him with me. And
how often did Trump assault you? Do you remember?
I can remember two specifically. A third one that I think, and I think I was around him more than just those 3 times, but only 3 times do I kind of remember. I can remember at one point him asking the people that were kind of running that party or whatever it was at that farm, he wanted to kill somebody. He wanted to murder somebody. And they said, hey, that's not this kind of party. You can't do that. And in lieu of doing that, they said, well, we've got some puppies. If you just want to kill something, we've got to get rid of them anyway. So I can remember him taking those puppies one by one, and like he snapped one of the puppies' necks. He cut one open and let it just howl and writhe in pain while it died. Held one under some water to kill it. He wanted to kill those puppies in whatever gruesome way, to experience, I guess, seeing them suffer in different ways. What his kink is, I guess, if you want to call it that, is watching people suffer. He likes to destroy people physically, mentally, during the process of the assault. That's why he stands out so much in my memory. And it's physical pain, and then it's also, degrading and all of that. But his thing was to just try to destroy human beings to the utmost that he could possibly do it, which is why I attacked him.
Yeah, that's understandable. So,
I can tell you this, that the last one up, and okay, so this was after they had killed the Samantha, this is the black girl that I made the one of the movies with.
Where there was
it was multiple farms.
Multiple farms, and usually it was parties. So there was individuals like Trump that were flown into the parties, and then they would have like a building, a house, and they would usually have like a tent set up, and it was almost like a little. I don't want to say a fair. It wasn't that big. They didn't have rides or anything, but it was a kind of a coordinated deal, Sometimes they would have the bare knuckle fighting. That probably is how my dad got involved with these people, because you've got boxing and stuff like that on TV, but that's really all you had back in the 70s and 80s. More the MMA type of stuff wasn't allowed. And these fights were a little more gruesome. They didn't fight to the death or anything like that, but they were bloody, and these were fights, and not just boxing. And so the rich people would pay to see that. Sometimes they'd have like a band playing, just like what you would expect at like a fair or something. So the rich folks would get flown in, associated with Epstein, and they would pay to watch the victims fight. The victims were all underage. And would they pay to then assault the victims after the fights or during the fights? And they'd pay to torture the victims and rape the victims and kill the victims.
But now some of the fights were adults. If they had some big old country boy and some other guy, they would pay to see that. They would also pay to watch the kids fight, and they did pay to watch me fight. I would fight other kids, and my dad was my initial trainer. So if they offered $5,000 to have sex with me, then my dad was willing to do that.